I'm Koda.
And I'm... Oh, God, I don't like that.
Yeah, which is why I always cue you in to do it, but then you fail the cue, and I spend the next, 30 seconds going, oh, God.
I'm Isyander, and we are... What is this?
Today we're doing something a lot different. We're going to assemble this little model that has been here on the shelf for a little bit because I want to add it to the set. This specific plane has kind of been one of the most influential things humanity has made on my life. I love this thing. It has been my favorite thing since I was a little kid. The Museum of Flight in Seattle, near where I grew up, was highly influential on me as a kid. And if you've been there, you know that dead center in the middle of the main big gallery is one of these guys, Asterisk. It's been there since the 90s, I think.
Oh, no problem.
What?
I don't think you'll be able to assemble this.
What do you mean?
It says 12 plus. You don't meet the minimum qualification here.
I'm definitely older than 12, and I'm smarter than a 12-year-old. Okay, now you're just being mean to me.
Go on.
Now you're just being mean to me. Off to the side is also a real SR-71 cockpit. That's not a mock-up.
Wait. They just removed...
That is a real one. We'll get into it.
Where's the rest of it?
We'll talk about it later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. So the Blackbird has always been special to me. And even though this probably isn't the best model, considering, the minimum age is 12, I still like it a lot. And I am new to model making, but still want to give it a place on the shelf.
And we have no shortage of models that people want us to assemble. Those ones just require paint, and paint scary.
To be fair, we do have a assembled and painted Gilliman model.
Yeah, we do.
That somebody sent in.
What, really?
Yeah.
What?
Uh-huh.
What? How do I not know this?
I need to bring it in because I picked it up from the P.O. box and have just been neglecting to bring it here.
You should feel so guilty about that.
I feel very guilty.
You should feel so guilty about that. I didn't know we had one.
It's been a rough...
That's 3 Gillimans
It's
now.
been a rough last week for me, considering school and a couple other things that we have planning in the background. But yeah, I completely left my brain to bring it here.
Man, that's 3 Gillimans. I never thought I'd make it.
Yeah.
3 whole Gillimans.
So many Gillimans that we don't have enough shelf space to put them on. Suffering from success.
No, there's definitely enough, but I just think we're at maximum Gilliman.
We're at maximum Gilliman.
Yes.
So we're going to assemble this, and I'm going to rant some fun facts about the SR-71 off at you, Bob Ross style.
This should be fun.
This is going to be fun. I have some
plastic.
Cheap glue and cheap tools to go along with the cheap-ish model.
I wish they made these in all steel and super duper high quality, but I also know it would cost $7,000.
There are die-cast ones that you can buy, but they're pre-made, and so the actual modeling is not something that you're doing. And I know the hobby space is very oh, I want to do this myself. I don't want to have it pre-made for me. Aha.
Oh.
Box open.
Want to gaze upon.
Instruction manual. I already kind of opened it up because I wanted to perceive some of the parts.
Wanted to make sure you were qualified?
I wanted to make sure I was qualified.
Oh, there's a paint guide?
There is a paint guide because...
Oh, no, not painting.
We're not going to paint it today. We're just going to get it assembled.
I can do assembly. Painting
to be fair, unless you wanted to do one of the variants of the SR-71, the color's pretty much right. And there are decals that come with this that are pretty accurate to what it actually is. So we're going to set that off to the side because that is just the
what bit is this?
D21 drone and the vertical stabilizers.
Actually, no. Okay.
Yeah, I do actually know.
This is your Warhammer.
This is my Warhammer. Like I said, I like this thing.
What does it look like? We don't have spare. I see some of these are top side, bottom side.
Some of those are top side, some of those bottom side. There's some translucent bits for the windows, and I think it's literally just the windows exclusively.
Yep.
But yeah.
Ooh.
What's ooh?
It's down to the seats.
It is down to the seats. They're
really cool.
They're little pilot
Oh
guys
wait, there's little pilots. Hold on.
Yeah, they're little pilots.
Whoa! I didn't know this little pilots.
You didn't see the little pilots?
No.
All right.
That is a genuine bummer.
I'm going to
bummed.
toss the box off to the side.
peep the little pilots. Look at the little pilots.
I've seen the little pilots.
No, but them. I want them to see the little pilots.
They're adorable. Look at them posted up, leg to leg.
Well, they're all missing an arm, so yeah.
They are missing an arm. Yes. We will have to glue their arm back on.
Oh man, I'm more of a Lego kid than a glue kid, but that's fine.
Yeah,
I will make do. I will survive. I will survive
if you'll provide the instruction manual. Well, I was going to say, like, open it up and, like, read it out to me.
Oh, you wanted me to do the instructions?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we start with Mr. Pilot Seat.
Really?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Oh, let's put the...
What are these?
Those are the engine spikes.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
How did they break off already?
I think they came that way.
All right.
So
yank off the pilots by the arm.
We have our little snippies. We're not going to just yank them off.
Cut their arms off.
Not just going to cut their arms off.
Well, you do need to. You literally. It's right there.
Well, you need to cut it out of the thingy.
Where's the cockpit?
What do you mean, where's the cockpit? Like, right here.
Oh, I was looking for it in all the pieces I had.
That's where I'm snipping?
Well, if you break it, I'll laugh.
We have glue.
True.
Yeah, glue. There we go.
Hey, there we go.
First component snipped. All right. So yeah, I did promise some fun facts, so I will give some fun facts as we assemble this, as long as you will, or as long as I can figure out what is where and where what goes. We're gonna start a little bit with the origin of the Blackbird, and that is the CIA.
You know my relationship. I don't want men in suits at my door. Why are we talking about the CIA?
This is public domain now.
Okay.
In fact, I actually gather a lot of this information from a document that the CIA themselves released on the entire story of the development and construction of the Blackbird.
That's very kind of them.
They're very kind of them to tell us the story. Probably not all of the facts, because...
Well, didn't chunks of the story get reclassified recently?
What was that?
Didn't chunks of the story get reclassified recently?
I think the plane and its construction got reclassified. I know there's also an SR-71, a crashed one, at the bottom of the Mariana Trench.
How did it get there?
Because it was still classified at the time, but it crashed. So we were going to bring it home, but we couldn't bring it home because we couldn't bring it through any like traditional port of call. Mm-hmm. So because of bureaucracy and not knowing what the hell to do with it, we kind of dropped it.
We dropped it into the Mariana Trench. Really?
Yeah,
seriously?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes,
that was a solution.
That was
You're joking.
That was a solution. So there's a SR-71 at the bottom of the Mariana Trench now.
How come James Cameron didn't see that?
Wasn't looking for it, maybe. Probably. I don't know.
Or it's gone by now.
It might just be gone by now. It was in a bad way. It crashed.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe they just dumped shards in there.
No, there's pictures of it before it crashed because people take pictures. But anyway, yes, the CIA. The CIA wanted a spy plane, and Lockheed gave them the U-2. But the problem with the U-2 was it was good, but it was only predicted to last for about 2 years.
That would have been a good 2 years.
It was a good 2 years.
Do I just glue this down?
I'm not sure. I'm cutting out the pieces that we currently need.
Okay, go on.
So we got the U-2, and the U-2 was good, but the CIA immediately realized we're going to need another one before too long. So let's get one of those under construction. And thus... Project Gusto started with the goal. Yes, Gusto, with the goal of creating a plane that was a spy plane in speed. It would.
Oh yeah.
It would go so high and so fast. Oh my,
dude. Dude.
Oops.
Dude.
Oops.
How are you just not aware of your body and its proportions?
I'm just not.
Go on.
It would go so fast and so high that nobody would even see it. That was how it was going to do stealth. The biggest contenders for the project were Convair, who had their work kind of cut out for them because they were already working on a different military project at the time. They were building something, the B-58 Hustler, which is a very unique looking plane. It is a triangle with a bunch of, you know the way jets look like on like a commercial plane, like a Boeing? Mm-hmm. Like 4 of those attached to the bottom.
Why?
A flying Dorito with commercial plane nacelles.
Why?
I don't know. It's a unique design. I guess it worked. Kind of, but also kind of not. We'll get into it. And Lockheed, who had built the U-2 for them, so they already had a good reputation with the CIA. And they get into kind of a competition just to see who can build the better plane sooner.
Ah, yes.
The ambitious goal for the both of them was to get a plane that flew up to Mach 3.0 at 90,000 feet in the air.
Okay.
Which I think at that point the U-2 could get up to 70,000. So they were trying to go even further beyond at that point.
Okay.
I think I've cut out all of the pieces that we need for the initial cockpit bit. I'm going to snip some of this extra plastic. Not that I'm going to really see the pilot's feet from just the model itself, but I don't know, detail. So that was that situation at that point. They kind of traded blows for a little bit, with Convair kind of being the victor in most of these situations. There were several prototype mock-ups built. The Lockheed company building something they called the Archangel line of planes. Mm-hmm. Very hard name. That's actually this line.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Archangel?
Archangel was the original. Archangel was the Lockheed code name. Gusto was the CIA code name for the project.
Okay, well, for once the CIA, come on, guys.
They've fallen behind. Come on, guys. Come on, guys.
Come on.
Oh, these will need to be glued down. So it is time to get the glue out already. And I think these little nubbins need to be snipped off as well.
Hold on, this doesn't line up properly.
So it does. I've done
Gusto.
I assembled. Yeah, so Project Gusto just comes to a head with the Archangel line of designs out of Lockheed and the Fish line out of Convair.
The Fish line? Here, I can glue while you move on to the next step.
The first invisible super hustler. It's an acronym.
God. The first invisible super hustler.
My God, the ROI guy has a little terminal with radar contacts on it.
How do you glue this down?
With this.
Ah, yes, I love.
Don't eat it.
Well, there goes my plans for today. All right, Thankfully, I wasn't a glue-eating kid.
That's good. There's a nozzle there that should be super, super, super precise.
Cement for plastic models. Warning, flammable. Vapor, harmful. Irritant. Read back.
Don't eat it. Oh, that arm is going to be a bit of a pain.
Rat.
What?
You're right, I can't eat it.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that.
I was hoping I could.
I really wouldn't recommend that.
How am I going to get this seat centered? That's going to annoy...
There's... I would say... Oh, no, the seat does need to be... I think it needs to be pushed right up against the back is what is going on.
I might need to move... Hold on. No. We don't need to move the microphone. I've got this.
No, you've got this. I've also got a seat. How did I acquire one of these seats? I think the seat design is the exact same, so it doesn't really matter.
Stop. That's enough glue. Thank you. Stop.
It's, drippy.
Okay, we need some way to prevent this glue from going. Something that I can put it on.
Put it on the front, because there's another seat that needs to go in.
All right, there you go. We're good. Okay. we won the long war. No, I got this.
Okay.
Hold this. Go on.
It's very touchy glue. So yeah, there was the Archangels out of Lockheed.
Oh wow, that was actually an appropriate amount of glue. What I thought was a comical amount was appropriate.
Oh, don't worry, I've put too much on this guy's arm.
Go on.
And the fish, the fish. You had the exact same reaction I did to fish because I was like, why is it called the fish? And then discovering that it's a very like long and obtuse acronym was very funny to me.
Well, yeah, that's got some fumes to it.
That it does. I wonder how long it takes to. It's plastic cement. So if I remember correctly, the way it works is it melts a little bit of the plastic and then it welds the two pieces together.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case.
But yeah.
I'm so good at this. Look at that, perfectly centered. And now I just gotta wait for that to. I see the appeal of this.
Yeah, this is fun, isn't it?
Oh, okay. It's concerning.
Shit, I've gotten a little bit of on my hand. Convenient paper.
Whew, that's got some vapor to it. My goodness.
That it does.
Okay, you were saying.
So, yeah.
It's fine, I didn't need those brain cells. I was gonna lose them at some point anyway.
Bring me the glue. I need to inhale some as well.
You.
I'm not gonna squeeze any out. I'm just gonna kind of like.
I did a fantastic job gluing that in dead center.
Look at you go.
What are we gonna do for the dry time?
Oh, we'll probably
time lapse.
Either time lapse or move on to the next component.
Yeah, because we can work in. Go on.
Yes, we can. Things don't go well for Lockheed to begin with. The Archangel designs are good, but the Kingfish, which
that looks so cool.
Yes,
that looks so cool.
That is the Kingfish off there on the right, and that's designs for the Archangel 12 or the A12 out of Lockheed. This is kind of where the point. This is the turning point. The CIA really likes the Kingfish a lot because it has a smaller radar profile.
Looks cool too.
But the most important thing is the A12 is cheaper to manufacture and is slightly better.
Cheaper and better. That's going to do it.
It's only slightly better, but it's way cheaper. And that's the thing that gets it.
2% better, but 50%
less expensive to manufacture.
Yep, half off. That'll do it.
So that
really, this is the cheap option. This iconic plane.
Mm-hmm.
This is the cheap option.
Yup.
Okay.
Well, it was cheap then. Research and development costs for one, after actually getting the design approved, were around $96 million.
In 60s money?
In 50s money.
Oh my goodness.
50.
This thing was made in the 50s?
Designed in the 50s, yep.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Did you not know that part?
No.
Yeah.
This feels 70s, 80s.
It was used up until the 90s.
50s.
Mm-hmm.
50s.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what we're currently... never mind. I don't want that answer.
We'll get it.
By asking that question, I might get that answer, and then I get a suit, and I'm like,
tee. You answer tee, and then hope they leave you alone.
No. Oopsies.
Nice. Leave the spikes alone. So yeah, the contract is awarded. Well, actually, a research contract. I put that in the wrong place.
It's fine. It's not like,
I dabbed glue in the wrong place. That's fine.
What else is new?
Sweep it. Where is the... Oh, yeah, give me the cockpit components. Cockpit. So, a contract is awarded to Lockheed, but it's not the full manufacturing contract. It is the figure this out contract. Mm-hmm. And they're given 4 months to make this have the same radar cross-section as the Kingfish, or at least less than what it currently has.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of a pain.
Just comparing
a real
the two.
Pain.
Just comparing the two, one seems much larger.
Yeah, which is a lot larger. But at this point,
the Kingfish kind of looks like God, what is that plane?
What plane?
Very cool looking.
There's a lot of planes.
No, we still use it to this day. It looks just like the Kingfish.
Are you thinking of... I think you're thinking of the F-114 or 117.
Jamie?
Do you want me to pull a picture up?
Yep.
Put the ROI guy in his seat. And
do I glue him down?
No, he can just sit. He's fine just sitting.
That doesn't seem very safe.
What, just sitting?
Mm-hmm. He's got like a glue groove.
Does he?
Mm-hmm. Look at that. A groove.
Just let him sit.
It's not like the Lord invented glue for a reason, but sure, why not?
Well, we have so much glue, and I want to save it.
Ah, yes, the great glue shortage of 24. How could I forget?
Yup. Okay.
Look at them. They're jostling around.
Are you thinking of the F-117 Nighthawk?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's
such a cool plane.
Yeah. Well, funny, stealth design, and if I remember correctly, it's based off of like some geometry that we like.
Yeah, didn't we steal that from the Russians? Because that is the best way to deflect radar.
It was public domain, kind of.
If a jet crashing and us taking its public domain, I think. That's not.
No, it was It was actually published in a scientific article, and we went, we can use that.
Really?
Yep.
Scientists just publicized that.
Uh-huh.
A Russian scientist publicized that.
A Russian scientist published that, and we decided we would use it. Apparently, that decision was very controversial in Russia at the time, which
publish it?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we immediately started manufacturing the F-117, or at least its precursor, the Have Blue project.
Oh, hell yes.
Which was called the Hopeless Diamond because of its shape.
Wait. Is this gluing the whole? Hold on.
Yes, we are.
Now this is my speed. Give me a second.
Okay, that does need to be glued in. So I'm gonna put some nubbins. I'm gonna put some nubbins.
Told you.
Right there.
No, you clearly glue it where it's gonna mesh.
Yeah, that's where it's gonna mesh.
Okay, cool.
What do you think? I was
assembly. Carefully open hole for. Oh, I see what's happening here. Oh, would you look at that?
And then one more.
God, this thing is so cool.
Isn't it just? You're seeing why it's like so special.
This thing is so cool.
It's so cool.
I'm coming at this from like the perspective of poster cars because that's what I more relate to. Mm-hmm. I get it.
Yeah, this is. We're not going to talk about that.
Maybe if there was a substance magically that could have prevented that.
We're not going to talk about that.
Gosh,
it's okay. He's fine.
We may never know.
He's fine. Ooh, he's alive. He survived ejection.
I think you maybe was supposed to put the glass.
No.
Okay.
I'm on that step.
Okay.
Yep.
What's this step?
Did I? Yeah, that is the right section.
What step is that?
That is the cockpits need to have the glass glued into them. What? So anyway, this is all around the time of the U-2 incident. Mm-hmm. Do you know about that?
No.
Those U-2 planes that Lockheed manufactured that were projected to last about 2 years.
Only lasted about 2 years?
Well, the thing that I forgot to tell you that I actually put into my notes is it was tracked from the first mission. Mm-hmm. And the CIA did know this.
Wait, what do you mean it was tracked?
It was tracked.
Like somebody knew about it?
The Russians spotted it from its first mission.
Oh, that's not good.
And so when one was shot down in the 1960s, and we gave funding for research and development around the same time, it became immediately clear, we need a new one. This is not going to go well.
I can't believe it. Wait, the CIA knew and still used it? That feels so not CIA.
It was fast, and it was, you must understand, it went up to 70,000 feet. That is kind of insane.
Oh, I get it. Like, yeah, you know it, but can you shoot it?
Yeah,
Those
can
are
you
two
get
different questions.
It was just a surprise that they could actually shoot it down.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a nubbin or the actual window that just went flying across the room?
Nubbin.
Okay.
Should probably go find that.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. But anyway, yeah, the research and development phase finishes in, I think, around June of
Please stop launching off into the set.
No, excuse me. I put it here in the notes. The research and development to make it not as easier to find on radar. Yeah?
I made a perfect cut.
Did you?
But almost lost my finger in the process.
Oh, don't do that. That'll be an
that's perfect.
Awful end to this video.
That's perfect.
That is perfect.
Oh.
That part will need to be like...
There are chunks of SR-71 now.
Well...
somewhere in the set.
If they're part of the set, that's not the worst thing.
Okay, go on.
Research and development...
There's a...
What?
Of course there's a file. Nothing. Don't worry about it. I didn't risk a life and limb. Come on.
Do you want the file?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's okay. I will risk life and limb again.
Research and development finishes to make it harder to find on radar. And February of 1960, and February 11th is when they actually file the first contract to research and develop, I think 12 of these prototypes, the A-12s.
Hey, look at that.
So, yeah, they won. They did it. They got the contract. There was a problem. You've been to Burbank, right?
Yeah.
Would you conduct CAI spy plane research, development, and construction and testing there?
What do you mean? Burbank's a perfect place to hide something. What?
Would answer the question. Would you do that?
No, not at all. Never.
Well, that's where Skunk Works was.
Oh, was? Are they still in Burbank?
I think they might be. I don't know if you cut this properly.
What?
I think you may have cut the front part of the cockpit off.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, wait, hold on.
No,
you didn't.
No, I cut it properly. Don't question my craftsmanship.
Where's the rest of the cone? Maybe we'll deal with that momentarily?
Yes, the cone will come.
Yeah, because there's another part of the window. Okay, maybe we'll figure it out.
Look at you getting ahead of yourself and questioning.
I guess I'm getting ahead of myself and questioning you. Can you give me the snippies, though? Because that, I think, is a bit that is... yeah, not needing to be there. So yeah, they had a problem. They're in Burbank. Testing a spy plane there, probably not the best idea. So they don't want to do it. And this is where I'm going to pique your logistics brain, because the insane amount of movement that happens for the next 2 years just to get this project up and running is kind of wild.
What do you mean? I'm gonna glue these guys down. It's bothering me that they jostle around. So
I will give you a spoiler. The amount of people at the testing facility that they construct for this is around 1,800.
Oh,
they move 1,800 people just here. Lockheed heads, research and corporate heads, searched for a military airport in the area for a while that had a runway of at least 8,000 feet long, because that is what it would need to get this thing off the ground. And had enough room to accommodate the amount of people they would need for the research, development, and testing of this thing, and enough room to store fuel and clear skies so that they could test it properly, and way away from the broader public. They couldn't find anything. It was not going to happen in the middle of California at all. So they moved to a very remote Air Force facility somewhere in the middle of Nevada. It was kind of awful. That was really not put together, this Air Force base, but it was far enough from people that it didn't matter. They figured they could construct everything that they needed to make this just work after they got people there. So that's what they did. At around September 1960, they start flying people in weekly from Burbank. They fly people from Burbank, California, to Las Vegas, Nevada, to the middle of Nevada, where they can then begin working on constructing a new runway, fuel depots, housing, and just generally anything that would need to make this thing happen. And that's when, in 1961, the base is all ready to have planes actually moved in there. So they are boxed up, as you can see in the picture here, and trucked over 3 days during the lowest traffic hours to a little-known Air Force base called Area 51.
Is this where Area 51 got its start? That's so cool, though. That's so cool, though.
From here...
I was going to say, why do we keep just dumping stuff in the middle of Nevada from Trinity Test to, like, Area 51?
Well, we've just been... That's how it got its start. We were doing secret plane testing here since the 60s.
No, that's what the Trinity Test happened. Like, it feels like it was in the middle of a couple states.
The Trinity was in Los Alamos in California. No, not California. No, I think that's in California.
I feel like some of it rubbed in. Anyway, go
on. So yeah, that's when we move on from Project Gusto to Project Oxcart.
Come on, CIA.
Which was picked from a random list of CIA secret project names. I shit you not.
Of course. Roll the dice, Timmy. What'd we get? Oxcart.
That is exactly what happened.
To be fair, I suppose if you wanted to be super duper,
you would just create a random list of secret project names.
Yeah, you don't want it to be called like Operation Shadow.
And it would be incomprehensible because you would just give something a random name and nobody would know what anybody is talking about.
Giga Stealth Plane Operation. Top secret, don't look here.
Please don't look at our Giga Fast plane.
Yeah.
From here, Project Oxcart does continue, getting the U.S. Air Force involved to find tests.
Sorry, that reminded me of something.
What?
One of my favorite ways somebody's broken into an FBI office.
What is that?
It's completely unassailable. You obviously can't break in because it's the FBI. They're good at this, right?
Yeah.
And so the best plan they had was leaving a little sticky note on the door.
Engine cones. Who are you playing with it?
Was leaving a little sticky note on the door that said, "Hey, please don't lock this tonight."
Funny.
And they just didn't. And they just walked in.
Funny.
Yup.
Very funny.
Which is why I'm very certain nowadays, it doesn't matter who you are, you got to badge in.
Yeah.
So if you're talking to the buddy, you badge in. Wait, they badge in, then you're good.
Oh, that's way too much glue.
Well, it's fine. It's a clear piece.
The pressure was kind of like building.
Mm-hmm.
I think... Oh, that is on my finger now. That's not good.
It's fine. It's not like there's a skull and crossbones on it.
I'm not going to eat it.
You should.
Well, at this point...
It smells good. It smells healthy.
At this point...
Go for it.
The cat's out of the bag.
Go for it.
I already
clear.
Touched it.
It's like water.
I already touched it.
Drink some.
Is this going to like consume my finger? I'm actually going to go wash my hands real quick.
All right.
We're going to
commercial break.
All right. Hands washed and gloves found because...
Gloves obtained.
Probably should have had the gloves before, but you know, it is what it is.
Go on.
We're here now. It is here when...
That's going to get glued to the table. No, it won't. Okay. So I thought
it's plastic cement. Again, I was correct in my original assessment. It works by melting the plastic and then like...
bonding them.
Yeah.
Go on.
Welding them together. The U.S. Air Force begins getting involved to find test pilots because... You know, it's actually surprisingly hard to find supersonic capable pilots without the Air Force.
No, you don't say.
Yeah. So they get involved. They source test pilots. They pretty much help with all of the logistic stuff that the CIA needs in their time of need.
Keep going.
Yeah, you're having fun with it. You are really having fun with those engine spikes. And they just do pretty much anything. They do search and rescue for crashed tests. At this point, you're distracting me.
Sorry.
They provide other services, and they also have the hardest patches for this job.
That's
the Roadrunner
beep,
one.
Beep.
I kind of want the Roadrunner one for my bag.
So
I
cool.
love that badge. Oh, and I didn't put it in there, but there was some testing done, and I think one was deployed in Japan, and it's got this really, really hard-looking poster. I guess the SR-71's design looked like a mythical snake of old called Habu. And so there you can like look up like Habu posters, and it just looks really cool.
I'm sure you'll give them a reference.
Big snake. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know why I didn't place any... reference in the script
You've
here.
done good designing a plane when it looks like an ancient myth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just, come on.
That's just you've done a good job.
Home run. Pack it up. Pack it up, boys.
Pack it up. You did it. You cannot top that. You simply won. I think that's good to go.
Okay.
I think this one is also good to go. I don't know if the rubber cement has.
So they finally let the Air Force in on the
that's not rubber
little
cement.
secret.
Yeah, they let the Air Force in on the little secret, and they get their help for everything. They actually really like the thing. They realize the potential of this testing and place orders for variants, including the YF-12 interceptor, the M21 launch platform.
Hold on, wait. Are you telling me like the heads of these departments never chat? Like, this is the first the Air Force is hearing about this?
This was a really secret project.
Oh, okay.
This was a really
Manhattan Project level secret.
Yes.
Okay,
well,
I see.
Manhattan level project is a bit strong.
A little under Manhattan.
A little under Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
Secret, but not like. Yeah, that under Manhattan level is actually very accurate to how secret this was. He's just gonna fall out of. We'll put him back. I don't want to glue him in. He'll need to get up at some point.
Well, will he?
Yeah, he'll need to pee.
That's why you're leaving him to fall out at hypersonic speeds.
Do you
in case of pee break?
Yeah. Would you want
to glue them together now?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Okay, what's going on here?
What do you mean what's going on here? They're being glued together.
Oh, that's where you pour the glue through?
What? Oh, no.
Okay.
Those holes? Okay. So it's so funny that I bring up the M21 variant in this part of the show notes at this point, because there was a very cool thing that the SR-71 did. They created a little baby drone that looks kind of like a tiny SR-71.
Okay.
That the SR-71 would launch.
Why was it launching tiny drones?
It sheerly reconnaissance.
Okay, that's so fun.
There was it worked very cool. The M21 variant of the SR-71 would fire off the D-21 drone. Yes, the naming conventions for these are very creative.
I can follow it.
The D-21 would fly over a target, take pictures, and then it would explode. It would launch the camera module off to be collected by, I think it was a KC-130 would pick it up, mid-air. And then it would spontaneously combust.
We had drones in the 50s?
It was controlled.
Okay.
It wasn't fully autonomous.
No. Still. A remote controlled drone is.
It was a later variant.
Okay, I was gonna say that.
I mentioned the M21 as a variant that the U.S. Air Force contracted for, but it was not this early in the process. It was a little bit later.
I can just see how you keep getting glue on your hands.
Yeah. It gets everywhere.
No, you're just using a method which would cause it to get everywhere.
I need to seal the entire plane because this is the way that the model is a monocoque body. So I kind of need to go along the entire edge here.
Your SR-71 sire.
Thank you.
Or SR-71 bottom.
And then I'm going to slide it forward just a scooch. And then try and hold it all together. The bottom was a bit bent upon receipt. So I'm wondering what's up with that. But oh no. One of the panels.
Looks like your gloves are melting.
No. Wait. Oh shit, they might be. Oh no. Oh no. I figured nitrile gloves would be fine for this job, but I guess not. They're dissolving the gloves as well. That's fun. I might need to go back for another commercial break of washing my...
Oh, and then you'll have a smudged...
It's fine. It's on the underside. It's not the most awful thing.
Well, you're also bonding this real hard for something that, like, these are going to go into.
This is the step that it says to do this at.
I have faith.
I'm following the instructions. Somebody designed this.
It's gonna be real awkward if it's not.
If it's not, yeah, it will be.
Because
I'll file a customer complaint. I'll go full Karen. This was my dream jet as a child, and you ruined it for me. Soiled it.
It's so cool looking.
It's so cool looking. And now you see why I've like fallen in love with it so much, like over the course of my god. And now it's okay. At some point, I'll probably paint it, and this will be fine. But yeah, it is dissolving my gloves out from under me. I'm not sure why those are interacting. They shouldn't, but c'est la vie. It looks like weathering now.
That's fine. We stay positive.
Copium. I actually need those now.
Yes, here's.
It appears I do need them. They're actually spikes.
Your conical spikes?
They're conical spikes. That's actually exactly what they are. Oh, well. You know, I'm not going to like this around like a child. Well, there we go. I got it out of my system.
That feels like it should be glued down.
It should be glued down, but honestly, it fits so neatly in there that I don't know if I'm gonna do that.
Last thing you said is now lying on the table outside of his cockpit.
Well, okay, fine.
What?
Well, I don't want it to like. I don't want to get rubber cement all the way down it. Oh, there's a spot where it stops. I'll just like rubber cement like some dots. This isn't rubber cement. I don't know why I keep calling it that.
Because you committed once and now you are all the way here. You know, you look at it at first and it seems very complicated, but like we're making
great time actually.
The landing gear is going to be a little convoluted. Oh, there's the tiny drone.
Yeah, there's the tiny drone.
Oh, are you going to add the tiny drone?
We'll construct the tiny drone. I'll construct a tiny drone at a later date. But I'll talk about the tiny drone at some point.
Well, we did.
But I covered.
We did talk about the tiny drone. It does kind of just look like a smaller SR-71.
But yeah, at this point, we have the Air Force involved. We finished construction of the A-12, and the Air Force commissions a couple variants, including the M21, the YF-12 Interceptor.
Here, I can start getting these pieces for you. If you pass me the thing. If you pass me the trimmer, I can get these next pieces.
Plane of the hour, the SR-71, kind of. I'm going to put an asterisk on this one too, because it's technically not an SR-71. It's got the D-21 drone attached to it, so it's technically an M21.
But for
most people, it doesn't matter. But for a reason I'll get into in a moment, it's actually like I learned this fun fact, and it has become very special to me. Now that you have a cursory glance at this story from me, there are a lot of resources that go into a lot more detail than I could here.
Like that. Go on.
Let's talk about some of the quirks and features of the SR-71. First off, the fuel thing.
Oh, yeah. It leaks fuel all over the place.
People like to think that this thing leaks so much fuel on the tarmac that it needs to be refueled
an acceptable amount of
mid-air. And also that it was designed to leak. Firstly, no. The plane took off with a partial fuel load on purpose because otherwise it would struggle to get off the runway. This thing was not light, and this shape was built to work at supersonic speed. It's not as efficient at subsonic speed. So it needed to take off with a partial fuel load or it would not work. So that's why it gets a top up in the air. Secondly, also no, the SR-71 had a unique fuel bladder that was basically filled to the body panels of the plane. The body panels that would wildly expand at normal operating temps. It wasn't designed to leak, but it did it anyway, and there was no real way to stop it because what are you going to do? Make the body panels fit tighter together? It's going to detonate as soon as it reaches operating temp.
Yeah.
So it wasn't designed to leak, but it just would, and
there are acceptable levels of leak.
You can let it leak. It's fine. It'll do that. It's fine. Yeah, there was a sealant that they did while it was on the ground.
Hmm.
Which pieces are you currently cutting out? This looks like the rear engine components.
But there's something I'm missing.
There's something you're missing? Well, these pieces are all numbered.
I need 35 Bravo.
And here's these two. And those look to just strap to the...
35 Bravo has to be on this one. Go on.
So yeah, it wasn't made to leak. It just would. You could fill the body panels, but you would just be doing a Sisyphean task. That was important. You still needed to do the Sisyphean task, but it was a Sisyphean task of putting sealant between all of the body panels, only for it to get back up to operating temperature, break all the seals, and then come back down and leak all over the tarmac again. It is what it is.
Acceptable levels of drip.
Acceptable levels of drip. Now let's talk about the control surfaces. You've seen a normal airplane, right?
Sure.
It's got flappy guys on the wings, it's got flappy guys on the tail, and then it's got a vertical flappy guy. And maybe, too, if you're feeling spicy, just like this one. The SR-71 has some kind of unique flappies. Traditional planes use the flappies on the wings, called the ailerons. To control the roll, they move in opposite directions to make the make the whole plane roll. Yeah. The ones on the...
Don't forget these.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how this all goes together.
Well, thankfully, there's a little image.
There is a little image.
First, you glue that in place with that, and then you glue that on top of that.
Aha, I see.
It's rather elementary, Watson.
Shut up. Oh, no. Unless I lose it. So you have the ailerons that control the roll. You have the elevons, which are usually on the tail flappies, and those control the elevation, as you might assume from the name. And then you have the rudder, which is that vertical flappy, and that controls your left and right, or your yaw. The SR-71 has moderately normal rudders. I mean, it's got two of them, which is a bit unique. But its other control surfaces are...
I think you did that backwards.
Did I?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, I did.
Watson.
Well, it's not the worst thing.
It's not the worst thing. It's
not the worst thing. Well, honestly, it's not the worst thing how it is, but...
No, it's fine. Just leave it.
I'm just going to leave it like that. Honestly, that was easier to assemble that way anyway. Where's the other one?
It's already pre-assembled.
Nice. Thank you. I appreciate that. The ailerons and elevons on the SR-71 are all the same surface.
Eh?
The entire back half of the plane here is combination aileron elevon.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And good use of space.
A very good use of space. But because of that, the stick can't really just like be directed to a left and right roll movement or a back and forward pitch movement. It's needed to have long cables directed all the way from the front of the plane, where the stick was, all the way to the back, where it had a device called a mixer, which was just a complex series of cam structures and cabling and wires and just the whole big thing that would mix the inputs from the stick to get the desired result of roll and pitch out of the plane itself. So if you needed to like roll and pitch up at the same time on a normal plane, you will just make the elevons do that, and then, or the ailerons do that, and then the elevons just do that. But this would just need to take the already moving control surfaces that do both and figure out what control surface do we put where to get this desired result. It's unique. Not a lot of planes have that problem. A mixer. That's what it's called. And obviously, like, the rudder controls are pretty unique. Although if the entire thing turns, and I've heard that's weird, but this thing has other stability issues. Anyway, we're going to talk about the unstarts. So,
what are unstarts?
I'm going to talk about them. That's why I said I'm going to talk about them. So a funny thing about this plane is it works off of what are called ramjets. Ramjets are exactly what they sound like, though I'm going to put it in kind of layman's terms here. You basically, for the air that you need to put through the jet to make it go fast. Hold on, turn the page back. I wasn't done assembling.
Oh, I thought you were.
Nope. For the air that you need to put into the engine to make it go fast, you will usually use like a turbine, or in a car, it just creates its own natural vacuum, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this, it just goes so fast that it shoves all of the air into the engine that it needs. But the problem with that is sometimes it would ram too much air in too fast, and it would all just get forced back out the front of the engine, thus getting no thrust to the back. This would kind of, because if you'll notice, the thing's a big pancake. The differential thrust from one engine being shut off, like very suddenly, would just cause this thing to enter an immediate flat spin.
Ooh.
Not ideal situation. The only way to fix this was if you were some form of ballsy pilot who would, out of their like craziness, unstart the other engine, get stability back, and then restart both at the same time so that you could get control back.
How often did any of these crash?
Oh, a couple SR-71s crashed. A couple. I will talk about one very specific one. They kind of had a lot of problems, I'll be honest. Like, it wasn't the best plane. It's really cool, but it had like some very significant problems. I need to sand that down a little bit because it's not fitting in there. So yeah, that's what the unstarts did. This plane, it was kind of, it had some fun times. Now we're going to talk about some of the fun variants, and that's where things become very fun and a little bit personal for me. The SR-71 is the variant everybody knows about. It was the variant of the A-12 that was given all of the camera equipment. It was a reconnaissance vehicle. It wasn't made to do any fighting. It was made to just take pictures. And that's what it did. And it did it very, very good. The M21, as we talked about, was kind of just the same thing. I think the M21 actually came after the SR-71 when we realized that we could take a plane really far, but we could take a drone just a little bit farther, and we didn't need to care about it coming back or its well-being because no person's on board. And so the SR-71 was given a
companion drone.
It was given a second seat and a companion drone that it could fire off and would do the thing where it would go off, take pictures, explode, shoot the camera module off, and it would just be recovered later. How is this supposed to go in?
Glue.
It's just not.
Also, hold on. I'm fairly certain you're doing that bass backwards.
What do you mean?
No, actually, no. You're doing
That's
that
how
correctly.
It's supposed to go. I'm like knocking the tail or the nose, the engine spikes out of the way.
You glued them down, right?
Yeah, I did.
Well, this is what they're supposed to look like at the end, so you at least have that to work.
Yeah, I am doing it properly.
So you're doing it right.
I am doing it right. Does this need to be sanded down some more?
When in doubt, glue.
No, it's just not going in the slot. Yeah.
Strange. Hold on.
Very, very strange. What was the other variant that is? Oh, yes, the YF-12, the one that the Air Force commissioned as a pursuit vehicle. This one was literally just the SR-71. It just needs to be sanded down. That's the problem.
Aha.
This one was just the SR-71, but all of the camera equipment was replaced with 3 missiles.
Okay, I can respect that.
And it was literally just like, it did the SR-71 thing of going very fast at an approaching target. And then, can you hand me the gloves back?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So there was the YF-12 that did have missiles. But the thing I really want to talk a little bit more about is the M21 and kind of the SR-71. and this isn't necessarily just about like them being variants, but more about my experience with them. And that is that I have technically been in one of them, and I have touched the bottom of one. Because as I said earlier, the Museum of Flight in Seattle has these pretty prominently shown off. And
I mean, yeah, as any good museum should.
Would have it if you are.
If I had them,
if
I would show them too.
If you're an aviation museum and you have one of these, show them off. They're so beautiful.
I'd be more upset if they didn't show them off. Just in the back we have the SR-71.
But yeah, this is where I'm going to be a bit of a pedant. The SR-71 that is prominently shown is not an SR-71.
Huh?
It's got the little baby drone. It's an M21.
Oh my god!
It is the last one.
What do you mean?
It's the last one.
It's the last, like, drone or the last M21 in existence?
Only 2 M21 SR-71 variants were made.
Only 2?
Only 2. One crashed when the drone launch went haywire, and it crashed into the plane itself, and the whole thing went down. So if you've been to the Museum of Flight,
seen the last
like I have, and you have seen the Blackbird that they have there, that is the last M21 in existence.
Oh, they should definitely give it more pomp and circumstance then. But I suppose the reason why is because most people know it as the SR-71.
So why would you change their opinion?
Yeah, no, people show up for an SR-71. I've never seen that. I should make a stop.
If you notice, some days it has the drone off to the side, and sometimes it has it mounted on top of the plane because it mounted.
A drone guy who's like, drone today, drone tomorrow. What do you think?
I think that'd be very
right?
Thinking about the history of drones. One of these is a couple $1 million and needed to be launched from an even more $1 million plane, and then you show off in DJI.
In 60s money, by the way.
Oh yeah, in 60s money.
Or wait, when did the drone vary? I think 80s.
I think it was like 70s, 80s. Yeah.
Okay, so in 80s money, like. That's a very different million from today's money. That's like the
absolutely.
millionaire you have in your head when you think millionaire, you know?
And
not to say $1 million isn't a lot today. It's just...
It's a big difference.
It's not mansion money anymore, you know?
No, it's not. But yeah, that is a thing. You can actually look up the tail code and the serial number off of that SR-70 or M21 in the... Museum of Flight, and I don't think you can look up flight records, but you can definitely follow
it flew?
It flew. There it is.
That's so cool.
That's the one.
That's so cool.
And now let's chat about the other one, the one that I've actually been inside of, because I've touched the as much as you're not supposed to, but you know, I was a kid. I've touched an M21, and I've been inside of an SR-71. And now we're going to talk...
flying at Mach... No, I'm joking.
No. It was the cockpit. And now I'm going to talk about how the cockpit got there. So, that cockpit...
How did that cockpit get there?
How did that cockpit get there? And where's the rest of the plane?
I asked that earlier. Where is the rest of the plane?
So, when these things were being flown, which was, I know is a wide range, it's not very helpful, they had some problems. As I said, they weren't the best constructed planes.
They look cool.
They were just really... They were good. They did the job.
Oh, great. Another shard of SR-71 is somewhere in the set now.
It's fine. It's a part of us now. The SR-71 was
Maybe the SR-71 was the friends we made along the way.
The friends we made along the way.
Yes.
So the demo cockpit that they have at the Museum of Flight was part of an SR-71 that was taking off and had its landing gear collapse under it while taking off, and it was not going slow at the time.
Well, the gas inside it is inert, so it's fine, right? Right? If I remember correctly, whatever it uses as fuel is inert for quite...
I'm waiting for the pictures to load.
For quite some time.
I'm waiting for the pictures to load.
Right? Like, isn't there something they have to add to it to get it to...
Yeah, they need to add like a extra like combustant.
Yeah, like something... That's not the right word for that.
Yes, but it's the word that came to brain.
Oh, maybe... Okay, Yeah, if I remember correctly, they have to add something to the fuel, or like it only reacts at such like high. Because think about how hot everything's gotten at that point. Think about like how the forces that are happening.
When I was doing the research for the notes for this video, I found somebody who was working with the ground crew for one of these things. And the engines were so large, the Pratt and Whitney J58s.
Wow, that gives a sense of scale. So I've never seen one in person. That's the first time I've seen a human relative to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Pratt and Whitney J58 that powered this thing, which by the way, I talked about the fish line that Convair was talking about, used the same engine.
If it's not a bad engine.
It's not a bad. Well, it was the most powerful engine we had at the time.
So really, no matter who won, Pratt and Whitney was going to win.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for them.
Good for them. So,
do you think Pratt and Whitney was in on this? Like, why is the CIA ordering all of these?
Well, why is Lockheed Martin and why is Convair ordering all of these?
Yeah, like what's
the CIA? Like, it was a top secret project, but the CIA's name was not attached to it yet.
Yeah, you're right. I'm dumb. I don't think like the CIA signs for their packages.
And no, they don't sign CIA for their packages.
Yeah.
So the J58 was heavy and it couldn't start under its own weight, so it needed a starter.
Starter, very, very, very reactive fluid.
No. There was a V8 on a cart.
You had to roll a V8 over.
You rolled a V8 on a cart over to the engine.
The scale of that motor just kicked in because its starter is a V8, like one of the best motors available. Oh, and that's how you start. Seriously, that's how you start it.
You would wheel a V8 on a cart, and the Museum of Flight also has one of the.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Has one of those carts there as a demonstration. You would wheel this V8 over to the underside of the engine, and you would start it that way. Now, this ground...
Who manufactured that V8?
I can't remember.
Drat.
I can't remember.
I just really hope it's like,
it was like
the American V8.
I think it was like a leftover like aviation V8 we had, because we did use...
Oh, yeah, because I forgot those are plane engines, too.
Yeah, those are plane engines at some point. So... This ground crew operator had a story where they were starting up an SR-71 and the V8 caught fire.
Okay, that's not normal for a V8, I'm not gonna lie.
And to put the fire out, a more experienced ground crew operator took an entire bucket of J58 jet fuel, this thing's jet fuel, and tossed it on the V8. Fires out immediately.
Nope. It's comically inert. Well, I mean, think about it. You don't want a tube going supersonic speeds with something that will combust immediately.
Yeah,
in most
because
situations.
it needs a helper. Otherwise, it's going to combust just existing.
That's so funny that you could put out a fire with J58. Also, probably so cancerous to handle.
Yeah,
probably
extremely.
So cancerous to handle. You know?
Well, maybe it did leak on the tarmac. Like these things did leak. A lot.
Well, I just wonder, like, no, because you couldn't even put it. Yeah, you couldn't. There's nothing that would really benefit from J58 unless you like.
Were using this specific engine.
Yeah, it would blow up most motors.
It was very powerful when it combusted. It's just getting into combustion.
Plus, getting into combust. I mean, think about it. Wow, a V8 is a starter. That's a very humbling thing.
Oh yeah, it was. This really just needs more time to cement. But yeah, you can also find the tail code for this. Oh, did I finish telling you the story about? Sorry, you got me distracted about the starter and how like.
Yeah. How did the thing?
So the landing gear collapsed under it as it was taking off, and now that I have, this isn't the pictures. There's a picture of the plane in its, I wouldn't call it full glory, laid out on the tarmac, and it's charred.
Really?
Yeah.
The J58 ignited?
The J58 ignited, and both pilots survived. One.
How did the cockpit survive? Respectfully.
It didn't stay. It didn't start in that condition. Well, I guess it started in that condition, but then became charred, but then was restored to this condition. Yeah. Because the plane was unrecoverable, and I think this was after the point they had. I think they were lightly declassified. Yeah. So this one was kept instead of being dropped at the bottom of the Marianas Trench.
Yeah, I really don't like the whole dropping things off in the Marianas Trench. Like, I get it, it's classified. Hang on to it. This is a bit of our history.
It's a bit of history.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff. We can't work on these anymore.
Yeah, of course not.
The CIA ordered Lockheed Martin to destroy all of the servicing tools.
Why?
Top secret, dude. The Russians can't even know what bolts we used on it.
That's so funny. I still think you should keep some of that stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, declassify it 500 years from now. Whatever. But still, come on. You know?
No, we can't even work on them.
Like, I really hope the CIA has some triple sub, extra top secret basement that, like, they will let stuff out of in, like,
500 years, and we'll get to see, like...
Yeah.
I don't know, the secret toxin guns that they have going on there.
Yeah, something like that. Because it's a shame that it gets destroyed.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's cool.
It's really cool.
You know, it's like this is stuff like James Bond movies are made of. And it's just kind of a shame that most James Bond movies would end with the film being burned. Well, it's true.
And just like lightly.
Did you not glue it before?
No, I did, but
it came unglued.
It needs a bit more.
Well, I have the nose cone ready.
Actually,
you should start gluing the nose cone together because it's gonna need to set.
That it will, and I'll need to hold it the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is why some of those variants are a bit special to me, because one of them is the last one in existence, and one of them is an actual SR-71.
That was like we can build more or service them, frankly, because the tools are gone.
Well, we only built 2 of the M21.
How many total? Like, what's the total production line here?
I think it was 12 of the A12, the original. I'm really not. I lose a lot of dexterity in gloves.
Okay, yeah, lose. Okay,
shut up. I know I don't have a lot to begin with. That's why I complain when I lose the little bit I have. We built, I think, 12 of the A12s, which were those original like test models.
Mm-hmm. Those are all gone.
Those are. I think we have a handful, but they're like museum pieces now.
Okay.
Well, I mean, they're all museum pieces now, but they were like really museum pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I think we built a good couple SR-71s. I can't remember exactly how many. I will have to like.
I was just curious what
look
it was
up real quick. I think we built 3 of the YF-12s, that fighter variant of it.
What is it fighting at its speeds? Let's be honest here.
Well, pursuit variant. But
okay, there we go.
I that's not interchangeable. I should stop using it.
I was gonna say, like, there's nothing it's brawling with.
No, it's not brawling, but it is like coming at you quick with missiles.
Also, frankly, this thing is very fast in a straight line. I don't think it's very maneuverable. No, I'm talking about, like, have you seen what the new like lightning can do, where it basically stops in the air?
Oh, the Cobra maneuver,
which apparently even that plane can't do very often.
Oh yeah, you rip the airframe in half.
Like it's not a very pleasing maneuver.
The Russian Sukhoi Su-57, I think is the one. It basically has a switch that turns all the computer controls off, and it was, I think, the originator of that maneuver because of that. But then
you could turn traction control.
You could literally turn traction control off on those planes. But the thing is, the risk behind that is you can shear the wings off.
I can't fathom pulling that maneuver, feeling so cool, and looking over and noticing I'm missing wings.
Mm-hmm. Well, because at that point, your wings become air brakes.
I mean, yeah, that's what's happening.
They weren't made to do that, frankly.
Well, in what situation do you even need to do that maneuver, though? Other than to kind of just flex on someone.
Not just flex. Well, it is an air show maneuver, but the...
I was going to say, I've only really ever seen it at air shows.
The proposed tactical strength of using that maneuver is that a lot of dogfighting, is getting somebody in front of you.
And so
if you can force them to overshoot you
by braking
very hard.
I can't fathom what that must feel like, by the way. Like, half the battle is not passing out, I feel.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of G's. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
A lot of G's.
Just
so like Jesus.
All right. Put the tail fins on.
It wouldn't be an episode of this podcast without funds. Puns.
Puns? Is that what we're calling them now?
Puns. Funny puns.
Okay, sure.
Funny puns.
Why not? But yes, I'm saying relative to that, it's not very maneuverable, but it is shockingly fast.
Yeah. Well, it didn't need to. A story that I didn't put in the notes, but I'm kicking myself for not. It's so well known. I can pretty much recite it off the brain. Is an air traffic controller
I know the story.
Asked, "Whoa, I'm going really fast. Hey ATC, how fast am I going?" And they're like, "Oh, you're doing this." And then
it was a prop plane.
Was it a prop plane?
It was a prop plane who was like, "Oh, dude, I'm actually making some good pace. What's my current speed?"
And then an F-16, I think, is what shows up. Yes. And the F-16 is just flexing, just ha, how fast am I going? And the air traffic controller is just like, "Oh yeah, you're going at a good clip. Good job."
Yeah.
And then an unknown radar signature comes up and goes, "How fast am I going?" Or the classic of one of the few times, where are the vertical stabilizers?
I cut them out.
Where'd you put them? Well, they've become unstable.
I cut them out. No, they're gone. They're not there. I removed them.
Where did you put them? You ate them.
We might have to go back to the footage. I actually don't. I gave them to you, I swear.
Well, I was constructing other things at the time. Well, that's where we might have to stop, honestly. Well, with the end of that story, with the Blackbird just... How fast am I going?
Yes, as just the penultimate flex on them.
Or the other fun story.
You're missing the best part of the story. The controller relays a speed that's egregious to him, and then he goes, I'm going 2 miles faster than that. And the air traffic controller goes, your instrumentation's probably more accurate.
The instrumentation in this thing was insane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The other fun story, which again is an absolute classic, of one of the few times one of these things was actually targeted by a Russian MiG, and a missile was fired at it, and it's not loaded with any chaff. It doesn't have any countermeasures except outrunning the missile.
Yep. If I remember correctly, I think an SR-71 flew through French airspace, and the French were very not happy about that.
It flew through everyone's airspace.
No, yeah, but
no one was happy about it.
No, the French were thoroughly unthrilled by it, and were like, "Hey, please stop that." And I think their response was, "Catch me."
Go for it.
Which, it would go to my head. I'm sorry. I would drop several. I would learn English. Oh, I already speak English. I'd learn French. I'd learn German, and I'd just learn "catch me." And be dropping that. I'd learn Lithuanian and drop a "catch me."
Learn Lithuanian
for no reason. I'd be fluent in Polish. "Catch me." That's all.
Oh,
that's all I need. And definitely Russian back then. Definitely Russian.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like I would say that, and I would hear a bald eagle somewhere in the distance. I would hear the approval somewhere.
It would come from somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. But is that? I guess that's where we have to end. Because
we have to end because you've lost the vertical stabilizers.
I swear I gave them to you, and footage will exonerate me of these trumped up charges.
Something. I'll assemble the landing gear, I think, later, just because it looks like that's going to get complex.
Well, it takes a lot of setting time, is the main thing.
It takes a lot of setting time, and I've run out of fun facts.
All right. Well, thank you guys, as always, for tuning into this episode. We will see you.
It's a bit of a unique one. If you guys like it and want to see us do model painting videos.
They will want to see model painting videos.
I think
this has opened the door.
With all of the glove that has ended up on that, and I'm not exactly the most pleased. I thought these were nitrile and wouldn't have that happen.
They're latex.
Yeah, that's a shame. Anyway, I'm probably going to want to repaint it at some point.
Like you said, it's weathered. That's the thing it has. It's weathering.
It's
I'm certain what will happen.
It's just in very unique spots.
Yeah, I'm certain we'll probably wind up doing something like this for painting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not starting with Mortarian as much as You know what? I will gladly.
We have
very badly assemble a Mortarian.
An unpainted Guilliman, and a fan did send us in an Emperor of Mankind model.
Oh, that's so cool. Maybe you'll see that. It's so cool. But thank you, as always, for tuning into this episode, and thank you for being you.